This is why I like to wait to the last second to get all of the information when it comes to game time because you get situations like this. So, here's the scenario. There is no Kyle Van Noy for Monday night against the Detroit Lions. He may be out for some time. There's also no Namdi Matabike because he's dealing with a neck injury. And depending on how severe this neck injury is, not only is he going to miss Monday night, he might be out long term because neck injuries are serious. Oh boy. So we are heading into Monday night with virtually no pass rush against Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions. I mean, this is just fantastic. If there's any benefit for the Ravens, there's not much of a pass rush there for the Lions past Aiden Hutchinson, and they struggle against mobile quarterbacks. So, I mean, based off of this, we kind of know what to expect on Monday night. The secondary for the Lions is solid, but can also be questionable. The secondary for the Ravens is filled with talent, but is also questionable. So, again, with two high octane offenses and two defenses that don't really have much of a pass rush and can be a bit questionable in the secondary in terms of performance, everything points to this being an absolute shootout in Baltimore Monday night. So let's get into this mess. Oh my goodness. No aspect of a pass rush. All right, let's talk about this game. Monday Night Football, we've got the Detroit Lions coming to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. This is a marquee matchup, should be an interesting one here. Obviously, the Detroit Lions are looking to prove that they are still one of the top teams in the league. They've still got it. A lot of people are questioning them because of how they performed in week one against their rivals in the Green Bay Packers. People feel that they are no longer the top dogs in their own division. That's Green Bay. They are looking to prove themselves here. They're coming off a performance where they destroyed the Chicago Bears, put up 52 points, and just smoked them. Absolutely smoked them. Meanwhile, Baltimore is coming off of a game in which they faced off against a division rival in the Cleveland Browns and put up 40 against them. In fact, Baltimore scored 40 in back-to-back games. The Week 1 game on Sunday Night Football in which they choked a 15-point lead against the Buffalo Bills, and the game on Sunday at home against the Cleveland Browns where they scored 41. So you've got two high-octane offenses, two of the three best offenses from last year because Baltimore and Detroit were two of the three teams that averaged 30 points a game last year, and they are picking up right where they left off. And they are going to face off here in Baltimore in what should be an exciting matchup to see. Now, let's break this down here because I've been seeing a lot of talk throughout the week. There's plenty of confidence with a good chunk of the Lions fans, but a lot of Lions fans have kind of just conceded and they're sitting here and saying, just keep the game close, just keep it competitive, please don't get embarrassed, we're probably going to lose, but don't get blown out. I was surprised to see that. Now, I do understand the context that does go with this because when you look at this matchup historically, Baltimore has dominated this matchup relatively. The Detroit Lions have not beaten the Baltimore Ravens since 2005. Be it at Detroit, be it at the bank, it don't matter. The Detroit Lions have not beaten the Ravens since 2005. The last time the Detroit Lions came to Baltimore, it was viewed as another marquee matchup in 2023. That was supposed to be a great matchup between two great teams, two teams that looked to be Super Bowl contending teams. We saw how that went, 38-6, an absolute thrashing, just complete dominance by the Baltimore Ravens. So I understand from a historical standpoint and how things went, in recent time when they've come to Baltimore. So I understand that being the factor as to why a lot of Lions fans are looking at this and saying we're going to lose. We don't really do well against Baltimore. But I still think you guys have a chance, especially because a lot of the fans are using 2023 to try to assess what's going to happen on Monday night. You got to understand this. The Baltimore Ravens defense is not what you think it is in terms of how they're going to perform. You see all the names there. They've got a lot of talent. But as of right now, they're not really playing as connected as they need to be as a unit. The Ravens defense is not really as dominant as they were a few years back. a lot of Lions fans keep bringing up that 2023 matchup. What you got to understand is the 2023 Ravens defense is one of the best defenses in our franchise history. That was Mike McDonald's defense, the 2023 defense that led the league in takeaways, led the league in sacks, and was the number one scoring defense, in the league. So they had the triple crown, being the number one scoring defense, leading the league in sacks, leading the league in turnovers. That's the defense that dominated you. And that was with Mike McDonald. That is not the same defense you're going to see come Monday night. Mike McDonald's a head coach in Seattle, and he's making that defense shine. Baltimore has talent on the defensive side, no question, but they haven't come close to playing at the level that they played in 2023. It's not even the same. And Zachary Orr, he's a nice young defensive coordinator that is still improving and has a long way to go, but he's not at the level Mike McDonald was when you guys faced him. So the people that are thinking, man, we're going to go there and get embarrassed. We put up 6 points last time we're here. Is the same thing that's going to happen this time around? No. This isn't Mike McDonald's defense. This isn't the 2023 Ravens defense. That's one of the best defenses in franchise history. This is the 2025 Ravens defense that has not really looked dominant. Yeah, they did well last week against the Cleveland Browns with an old, decrepit Joe Flacco and an offense that doesn't have a lot of weapons to really work with. But this is not the defense that you've seen, and they haven't really answered the call so far through 2 games. You took on a Buffalo Bills team that they looked good through 3 quarters, but then gave up 22 points in the 4th quarter and blew a 15-point lead in 4 minutes. That defense is not where they need to be right now. Even though they got all the talent in the world to potentially be that, they're not really playing at the level they need to play. So Detroit, you absolutely have an opportunity to make it even, better for the Lions fans so you can feel a little bit more confident that your team has a chance here. Like I said at the beginning of the video, Nnamdi Madubuike and Kyle Van Noy are not playing. The last time Baltimore played Detroit, they came to Baltimore in 2023. We sacked Jared Goff 5 times. So we had 5 sacks in that game. 3 of the 5 sacks came from Kyle Van Noy and Nnamdi Madubuike. Both those guys will not be playing on Monday night. So that gives you even more confidence to believe that you will be able to compete. This won't be a thrashing. The Ravens defense is not the same defense you faced 2 years ago under Mike McDonald. We got Zachary Orr now, who's known to Mike McDonald, and a defense that is not playing at that level. Mike McDonald made Brandon Stevens look like an all-pro and had Marcus Williams playing at a Pro Bowl level with one good arm. So, yeah, that was the defense you had to deal with. This is not the defense you will be facing off against Monday night. They give up a lot of yards. They give up points. So you will be able to compete. Not to mention, we don't have a pass rush. So, yeah, these are just a few things that Lions fans can at least take a look at and say, we've got a chance. With that being said, it's going to be a shootout, no matter how you look at it. And I think from a matchup perspective, Baltimore still matches up well against this team. This is not really a great matchup for the Lions. They've got the talent to be able to compete against the Ravens, of course, but matchup-wise, I don't think this is the best matchup for the Lions. They don't match up well against the Ravens. I hate to say this for the Lions fans, and y'all don't want to hear it, but the team in the NFC North that best matches up against the Ravens is the Packers. And we'll take them on week 17, so we'll see how we fare against Green Bay by then. But that's the team that best matches up against us. This isn't the best matchup for the Lions, which is why a lot of Lions fans feel the way they feel. But I still think the things that I said, this defense not being the same defense you faced 2 years ago, the Ravens missing 2 of their best pass rushers, it does help give you guys a case as to why you could potentially come in here and at the very least compete if you don't find a way to win. You will be able to match up with whatever Baltimore's doing offensively. So let's actually get into that. When you take a look at the defenses first, because we've got to really talk about them, I think the game comes down to which defense can make the most stops. In terms of who has the advantage, Baltimore has the advantage because they have more talent overall in their defense compared to the Lions defense, but I don't see much of an edge between either one of these defenses. I think they're going to have a tough time. The Lions have a tough time dealing with mobile quarterbacks, so having to deal with Lamar is going to be a very, very big issue for them. And the Ravens don't have a pass rush. Monday night's going to come down to some of our young guys stepping up. So Aeneas Peebles, Mike Green, it's time to showcase what you can do to the world on prime time, because you guys are going to have to step up with us missing some individuals. I also believe David Ojabo for us will probably play because we are missing that. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I don't think there's any specific edge for either one of these defenses. It's a coin toss for me because Baltimore has the more talent on defense, but I think both of these defenses are going to have an incredibly difficult time even slowing down the offenses they got to go up against. Speaking of the offense, when you take a look at it, who has the edge? Again, I'm not exactly sure. I think you can argue Baltimore again because of the fact of Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, that combo being so damn dangerous and just being an absolute headache for teams to deal with. I think that's what ultimately gives the Ravens edge. But if we're talking about talent, I mean, again, when you look at Detroit's side, Goff is playing at a high level. He's been a borderline elite quarterback since he's been in Detroit. Hell, he's looked like an elite quarterback since he's been there. So Goff's playing at a high level. You still have Montgomery and Gibbs as your running back duo that can run against any defense. Those guys are legit. You still got Williams. You got Amon St. Brown. I mean, they got legitimate talent on that offense. So they aren't going to have problems scoring points. They are going to be able to put up points against the Ravens defense. Absolutely. On the flip side, you look at the Ravens offense with, of course, Lamar and Derrick Henry and Zay Flowers and DeAndre Hopkins and Mark Andrews, who has not really done much to start the season, but he's still seen as somebody that can be a threat. He started slow last year and finished with 11 touchdown receptions. He may end up doing the same thing again this season. Who knows? And then, of course, Rashad Bateman. The Ravens have a lot of talent offensively, just like the Lions. So it feels like it's a coin toss. Again, just like with the defense, I feel maybe the Ravens have a bit more talent offensively, or you just give them the edge because of the Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry combo. But again, it feels like a coin flip for who's going to be able to produce offensively more. I just think both of these teams are more than capable enough of putting up points in bunches, and they've been doing that for a while now. I've said for a while now, like starting last year and then especially this year. I've been saying this for a while now, especially coming into this year. The three best rosters in football: one, Philadelphia; two, Baltimore; three, Detroit. And 2 and 3 tend to fluctuate depending on how I'm looking at it. There's sometimes where I really think Detroit has a more talented roster than us, but again, these are the three most talented rosters, or the three best rosters in the league, or the three deepest rosters in the league, however you want to look at it: Philadelphia, Baltimore, and Detroit. So because of that, from a matchup standpoint, or at least from a talent standpoint, I feel that both of these teams are dead even. From a matchup standpoint, this is not a good matchup for them because, again, their defense struggles against mobile quarterbacks. And if you let Lamar get out the pocket, it's over. If you let the run game going, it's over. Doesn't matter what the offense is doing on the opponent's side. If you cannot stop Lamar Jackson at all, you can't even slow him down, you have no shot to win this game. None. And that's where I feel the game could be the difference ultimately. Trying to figure out how to stop that Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry combo. And if you can't figure it out, you're cooked. So, again, defensively, talent-wise, slight edge to the Ravens. Production-wise, coin toss. Offensively, production-wise, coin toss. Who has the edge? Maybe the Ravens because of the Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry combo. Either way, these two teams technically should be dead even for a matchup. But again, Detroit, from a matchup perspective, don't fare well against the Ravens. If this was Green Bay, we have a different conversation. But with Detroit, it just feels like they don't match up well in these situations against Baltimore. So it's like, it's a toughie. They have more than enough talent to be able to go into Baltimore and get this win. Even with them not matching up well against the Ravens, the Lions have a real good shot. But when I don't want to just like jump the gun. The fan to me is sitting back and saying, despite the evenness in roster, when I look at the matchup, I don't see how they're going to stop the Ravens offense. And I could see moments where the Ravens defense won't be able to stop them from putting up points, but they could slow them down and force them to settle for three. I don't know how the Lions defense is going to consistently stop the Ravens from putting up 7. If Derrick Henry goes off early, it's over. If Lamar's able to get out of the pocket and extend plays, it's over. I'm just struggling to find out ways in which the Lions are ultimately going to win. I think they have a great chance too, but this matchup is so bad for the Lions and works so perfectly for the Ravens that I could see this getting bad, which is why a lot of Lions fans feel the way they feel. However, I'm going to be as objective as possible. The Ravens fan to me says we're blowing them out again. The objective fan to me says it's going to be a shootout on Monday Night Football because I don't know if either one of these defenses can stop the high octane offenses they're going to face. So I'm gonna go with the objective aspect. What my mind is telling me right now, I think the Ravens are going to win this game, but it's going to be via shootout. I do not think Detroit's going to come to Baltimore and leave with 6 points because that really hurt a lot of Lions fans to have that offense, which was the pieces that they've been building to be this high octane offense, this huge scoring offense. For them to go into Baltimore the way they did and leave with 6 points, that was humiliating. I don't think that's going to be the case this time. I could see them dropping a lot of points on our defense. I think win or lose, they're going to put up a respectable performance. And people will look at the Lions and say they're definitely one of those teams that can truly compete for a championship. I know people have already decided to put Green Bay ahead of them and say Green Bay surpassed them. And I myself picked the Packers to win that division. So I'm not sitting back and saying people would be wrong if they're leaning towards Green Bay. But I still think Detroit can be that team that can still compete in the NFC. And I feel like Monday night's performance will show that they can go head to head with a Super Bowl contending team and actually look respectable. So, win or lose, the Lions will be able to make their point. And I think they're going to be able to put up points against us. I think it's going to be a shootout on Monday night. I'm taking the Ravens in this game. Um, I would say game plan for the Ravens offensively, just keep doing what you're doing. You scored 40 points in both games. Adapt to whatever you're seeing out there and do what you got to do. Week 1, you were able to run all over the Buffalo Bills, and Lamar Jackson was in prime form. You took your foot off the gas, the defense choked, the Derrick Henry fumbled, and next thing you know, you blew a 14-point lead in 15-point lead in 4 minutes. You played 60 minutes of dominant football, you ain't got to worry about that. Last week, you had the worst rushing performance in the Lamar Jackson era because the Cleveland Browns literally spent 60 minutes locking in to stopping the run and saying, we're not letting Derrick Henry go off. So Lamar got him through the air. He killed him through the air, 4 touchdowns for him. D-Hop still a threat one-on-one. Zay Flowers is emerging as one of the best receivers in the game. You got weapons all over on this offense. And yeah, I mean, you guys look well offensively. There won't be any Isaiah Likely here like I predicted there would be, which is kind of unfortunate to me. I said it'd be week 3 or week 4. I was really gunning for week 3, and he is healthy. He has been practicing, but he's not quite ready yet. And he could technically go out there and play Monday night. But Isaiah Likely said it himself. It'd be better for me to go out there and it'd be better for me to sit back, get to 100%, on the field, get the chemistry I need, and then go out there, as opposed to me coming out there maybe 60% and then I'm not fully in sync and I don't look like me. So they're going to keep him back for another week. He has been practicing, so it's not like he hasn't been in practice. He's back, he's fine, he's active, and he's practicing. It's just getting him back in sync and in rhythm to where he needs to be. So they'll probably give him another week, and we'll see him next week against Kansas City. So I'm fully sure Isaiah Likely is going to play against Kansas City, but we'll talk about that when we get to that. In terms of this game, Baltimore, keep doing what you're doing offensively. You didn't have Isaiah Likely for the first 2 games, and you still put up 40 points. So, again, you adapt to whatever you see out there. If the defense decides they're going to shut down Derrick Henry, you're going to kill them in the pass game. If they're giving open lanes, you run the hell out of the football with Derrick Henry, and that's going to open up everything for everyone else, and that's going to keep the Lions defense on their toes. They're not going to know what to stop. So it just depends on what the Lions defense is trying to take away, and you adapt to that. That's just what we do. Pick your poison offense. That's what we've become. So, yeah, offense, do that. Defensively, you got to slow them down. I truly feel the defense that makes 3 stops in this game will be able to win. The defense that makes 3 stops is going to help their team win on Monday night because it's going to be a shootout. And if you could take away possessions, make stops, and force some punts, you're ultimately going to help your offense potentially put up more points and take away possessions from your opposing team. So whichever defense makes 3 stops in this game will ultimately win. And I think that will be the Ravens. They will be able to make a couple stops here, and that will ultimately be the difference in what will be a high-scoring game here. So all in all, defensively, look to stop the run as much as possible because, again, Gibbs and Montgomery can run over any team. They're just incredibly dangerous as a duo. In terms of the pass game, you want to keep everything in front of you, and honestly, you got to hope your pass rush can do something because you're not going to hold St. Brown for 6 seconds. You're not going to hold Williams for 6 seconds. That pass rush has to do something in terms of getting to Jared Goff. If they can't get to Goff it's gonna be a long day. That the corners aren't holding up for 6 seconds against these receivers. It's not happening. St. Brown's way too talented that you're gonna have trouble matching up against him one-on-one. Even if you're gonna put a safety over top for the help, you still got Williams to deal with. It's just you're not gonna be able to hold on for 6, 7, 8 seconds. If this pass rush can't generate anything, Baltimore will be in trouble. I believe they will be able to generate something. It just won't be a lot. However, I think it could be enough to make a couple stops and ultimately give the Ravens the victory. So, yeah, I got the Ravens winning this game. Let's go 40-35. I think it's going to be a high shootout. 40-35 or 38-35. Whichever one you feel is closer to what it's going to be. I don't think it's going to come down to a game-winning field goal. I think Baltimore maybe late in the game, will have a 10-point lead. And knowing Baltimore, they'll find a way to give up a late game touchdown. And then it just comes down to putting the ball in the hands of Lamar Jackson and letting him and Derrick Henry ice the game. And it could be a 40-35 or a 38-35 victory. Either way, it's going to be a high scoring game. I will be shocked and give complete props to these defenses that they're actually able to stop these two high octane offenses. If this is a low scoring defensive matchup on Monday Night Football, both defenses will get their props no matter what. With that being said, I got the Ravens winning this game. They'll go to 2-1, and then they got to prepare for Kansas City, which will be a whole week of emotions to talk about. Oh God, I'm not ready for that Kansas City talk. But yeah, I got that. I got the Ravens winning this game. Lamar Jackson will have a couple touchdown passes. I mean, he's just been on it all season. He's in prime form. Derrick Henry is going to have a much better performance this week than what happened last week. I don't think we're going to be in a situation where the Ravens run game is just absent for a whole 60 minutes. We'll never be in that type of situation again. What Cleveland did was truly impressive. They took away the run completely and said, we're not letting Derrick Henry run. Beat us through the air. And that's what Lamar did. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a better matchup for the Ravens. So we'll see a better performance running wise for Derrick Henry. He'll have a great game. Lamar will have a great game. Zay Flowers will continue to impress. D-Hop will have his moments. I think Rashad Bateman will be able to get a little bit more usage here, so he may have some opportunities. I'm hopeful Mark Andrews can provide something because I hate watching Mark Andrews just be out there and not do anything. We know what this guy's capable of. I just need to see something from Mark Andrews. So, yeah, Ravens will get the win. It will be a close game, but it will be a high scoring game. And yeah, Ravens will go to 2-1. And that's how I see things going. With that being said, that's all I've got. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I will see you guys Monday night when the Ravens and the Lions go head to head. Until then, guys, be sure to stay safe and peace out.